with a whole minute to spare. 32 seconds to spare. Can't believe Watsy said no bans for standard. Waiting until Spider-Man set. That's something they've done in several sets now that is absolutely miserable, where they're like, we're not going to ban anything at this time because we got another set coming out before too long. And you can't do that when you like add in more sets into the annual rotation, because now you have even less time and even more of a reason to say we're not doing anything. Opponent last seen 10 days ago on Affinity. Theriok, much appreciated. Said no emergency bans, only 3 weeks after a set release. The once per year, June 30th. Oh yeah, they did say that they weren't going to be making bans except for like once a year. I forgot about that. Opponent mulliganed. I think I'll keep this. If they're actually on Affinity, this hand's not that great, but I do have like turn 1 preordained, maybe find a frog with subtlety, a Pinnacle Emissary or something. Yeah, if they're not on Affinity, this hand looks a lot better. Is looks pretty Grixis Reanimator to me as well. I gotta update the deck list command. Update the Mox field. Let me do that real quick. If anybody ever wants to make me really happy, get in touch with the people at Moxfield and find out why you have to have a text file when you update your deck list. Why can't it be like any sort of file? Sure, there's a super simple reason for it, but it's just easier to or whatnot. All right, deck list should be correct now. Find a definitely like Fatal Push. Tameo's a little, I guess Tameo gives me something to double up next turn. Like if they get back Oculus this turn, I can Fatal Push plus play Tameo. Line of the Voids. I always used to crack up whenever Reed Duke would play a video or play a league with like 2 Leyline of the Voids in the sideboard. Wild. Opponent kept a 1-lander. I think I'm just going to pass back and like block the manifest, take the hit off of the Oculus, and try to Fatal Push into turns. They can't just immediately go for a Reanimate. But I mean, if they like miss their land drop here or something, I'll Fatal Push the Oculus. And they are down a couple unearths already, so it might be worth it just to Fatal Push before anything. 3 unearths and a fatal push. That Oculus is dying. Thing is not long for this world. Got by one of main board spell pierce. Kidding. Kidding. Opponent, I was kidding. You missed the land drop and to have the spell pierce. Disgusting indeed. They flip over an Archon, so they probably got a an Oculus or like a frog face down here. Frog pass. Discards in hand. Spell Pierce good right now. Like when you hit the one of main board Spell Pierce at the right spot after missing a land, then sure, the Spell Pierce is good, but I think in general, not really. Like, we're kind of in a very creature-heavy format, so... I'm just going to say that if they've got... if they've got, like, the Spell Pierce and they've got the Fatal Push right here, so be it. Can't beat every, like... every hit. Could have a persist. Probably just a fatal push. Pips. We've got Buttes, Tease, and Betrayal. If I didn't think Pierce was good right now, seeing it main board one of is a surprise. I feel like it's the kind of thing that people want to be cheeky about. Like, oh, I got my one main board Spell Pierce and I feel really good about it. When realistically, we're in a format with like Blue-White Blink, Esper Blink, Orzhov Blink, Boros, Zoo, like all these heavy creature decks that are winning through creature interactions, and Spell Pierce just like doesn't do anything into most of those. Force of Negation's kind of got a benefit because we can ditch it to a subtlety in matchups that it's dead, can ditch it to a frog, can use it as fuel for another force. And they can't pay for it. I'm on the play about what I'm doing. Drop a Riddler because they're a little bit slow. Drop a Kaito, drop a Subtlety. And some stuff that's middle of the road. Hand's all right. It's not great. One preordained. I need to find like both of. I'm probably shipping this. Usually my rule of thumb is like you need lands, you need a threat, you need interaction. And you can get away with not having one of those. But in this case, like I don't have a threat and I don't have lands. So I kind of risk missing out on half of that pretty easily. This has got lands, kind of a threat-ish. Steven, what's up? Out of Thoughtseize. That answers for a turn 2 frog. Take the Riddler. Sure. Interesting. Have a faithless looting here. Great Freya. Unearth on the frog. See what we've got coming off the top. Rest in peace would be hot. Be even hotter if they ditch some big reanimate target here. Try. All right. We're playing fair Magic now. Tide could never. You are correct. Murktide could never. Right, now we do have to do something before opponent starts hard casting Archons on us. They playing snow covered. Like play snow covered, I guess. Wouldn't look into it too much. Right. Let's do this. Oculus is discarded. Assist is discarded. Dispute. Ton of cruelty. Cameo. Scalding Tarn. Psychic Frog. Wheat. We can discard this and present lethal next turn. Like that. Punished. Punished so very, very hard. I say punished like we're not still presenting lethal. I don't really know why they would discard there. Because, like, this frog's gonna die. Draw a fatal push. Look at the clock. 1733, 1736. Just like identical. And yeah, like they went through multiple unearths, Archon persist, Emperor, double faithless looting, and Rip just like soloed there. Blue-white control, I'm definitely a believer in Rip main. Last league, we brought it in 4 or 5 matchups. You can probably get away with it pretty well with blue-white control. Even if it's just like a 2 of or something. 2 in the main, add a 3rd or something to the board. It's just solitude at worst, right? Breeden87, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome afternoon. Got. I'm prepared to just see like 3 pitch targets. Nothing else. Have the spell pierce again. Talk about these. Frog. Push. Fatal push. Is to stop being losers and give us our 1 mana tutors in Modern. Good luck with that one. I'm prepared for this fatal push here to wreck my entire existence. Got Archon. Okay. Interesting spot. Consigned memory. You have consigned memory in your deck for. Seems a little questionable. Rip is an ETB trigger at first, but like after that trigger, I don't care about exiling a lot of stuff that's already there. I'm just like stopping future exiles. Fatal push. Okay. We have ourselves a game. Am I going push the Oculus, attack in with the 4/4, hold up Bowman, or am I going Thoughtseize, try to stop like a persist? Surely they're. Oh no, this is a blind draw. I'm assuming their last card they kept in hand was an Unearth. And I'm assuming this is a blind draw that they have in hand. The likelihood of persist is kind of low. So I think I'm just going fatal push, the Oculus. I don't want to start by attacking because if they block the Orc army with the Oculus, then I've got a Bowmaster shoot and they still get to kill the Orc army. And I don't want them to kill the Orc army because that's like my biggest source of damage at the moment. No attacks. See how clear the coast is. Discard to frog. Okay. I think if I attack with this orc army, they're just gonna block. I don't think I have anything I can really bluff here. I need to find a Kaito. I need to find a Riddler. Surprised they played out their land there. Jumping this frog seems not ideal for you. Unless they drew an Oculus. Now you have to chump block my orc army and your frog's not big enough to discard and do so. Good for me. Good for me. I'm gonna play this. You know, some people should just not have a sideboard. Put a card on top. Like an Oculus. Interesting. So we could go sink the Oculus, attack with Riddler. There's not a line where I can sink, I can stop them from discarding to the frog. Like, even if I go sink the Oculus, Thought Seize you, they can still just... Not lethal, right? Because they get the Oculus back in hand, discard Oculus and the other card to the frog, can jump the frog, block the Riddler. Manifest blocks my 7/7. They take 2, go to 3. All right, so definitely getting Oculus off the board. The issue here is me attacking all. They bounce off the Quantum Riddler, chump the army, take 2. They get an attack back with a frog, which might not matter, but it's non-zero. Making sure they have to block. They jump here, block a frog on a Bowmaster, they die. So yeah, they have to block Riddler token. So this Oculus is now a dead card in hand. I'm more curious if they discard to save the frog. Okay, since they don't discard, I think I go for the Thoughtseize here. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't matter. But like, if I'm not casting the Thoughtseize, what am I doing with it? And even if they, I guess if they hit, if their only live card in hand is Oculus and I discard it and they hit Unearth or Persist, not so much Persist, but Unearth, still have Force Negation. Yeah. Well, they couldn't Emperor of Bones unless they had the other land, but they don't, so. Nice. Opponent punted out by not pitching. I agree they should have pitched the Oculus. Because, like, this Oculus is just 100% dead in hand. It does literal nothing for you. Glider Eternal formats. Well, usually when anything gets released is like a Commander supplemental product. It's Legacy and Vintage legal, but it's not Modern legal. So if that's what you're referring to, then this on the draw with a bunch of stuff that says draw a card. Looks like Esper Blink. I might have like Force Negation for a Ephemerate. Find a Subtlety. I know I want Polluted Delta. I should probably take the Bowmasters. pass back. I'm going to go for the Bowmasters right here. That, though. Another land. Nice. We're doing stuff. An opponent doesn't have a Felia. That's really big for us. Really sure what they have. Oh, is I have a Kaito. Okay. Blink with basic island is super weird. That's a fair assessment. They also just like haven't done anything other than cast a Rest in Peace. And so I'm not really sure what I should be taking away from that. Like, is this just hard cast Solitude here? Oh, like I was kind of kidding. Shouldn't have been kidding, but go bin one, top the other. Island, play Tameo, Quantum Riddler. Draw our second card for turn, flip Tameo. Go. Running out of ideas. Ketramose. Ketramoseless Ketramos is wild. I don't really... I don't know. Turn 6, opponent has cast a Relic and a Solitude, and that's it. See basic island, which I agree is kind of like not an Esper blink thing. So, plus, like, what are the odds of getting that far down the rabbit hole with Esper blink and them not casting anything? Like, no Overlord, no Emperor, no Felia, no Ketramos, no in Riddler, nothing. Yeah, I'd assume Ketramos as well, but that's like the only thing I can possibly assume. What is the wording on Overlord? Does I'm not bringing it in, but just out of curiosity, does Rest in Peace stop Overlord? It does, right? Because it's not like mill one of those from, or put one of those from the milled cards into your hand. It's just mill 4, pause, everything's in exile, then return something, and there's nothing there. But when it's like, what's that card that Arclight Phoenix and Pioneer played? The one that mills 4, and then you put one from the milled hands, an instant or sorcery from the milled cards into your hand, or a fairy or whatever. That one gets around Rest in Peace because it specifies, like, get one of those cards. Yeah, Picklock Prankster. Who I want consigned to memory. I think I'm going to hold off on consign. I think I'm going to make them show me, like, some more blink stuff. Rumble gets around it as well, correct? Should be, yeah. Should be like anything that doesn't specify that it's got to be among the milled cards. You should be able to get back. Or it should stop anything that doesn't say milled cards. Turn 1, Thoughtseize. Doesn't mill mean specifically put it in the graveyard first, otherwise it's put into exile. Well, it has to do with, like, the resolution of the spell. I don't think, I could be wrong. Somebody in chat can correct me. But I don't believe whether it's put in there for, or I don't believe whether it's milled or just, like, put the top 4 cards in your library matters. But could very well be wrong. It does depend on the wording. Okay, then. There you go. That's kind of annoying. But I don't think that's annoying enough for me to waste a subtlety on. Because I could just draw a Fatal Push. And this getting this Quantum Riddler back is just like, hit me for 4, draw a card. They can't ephemerate it because it comes back to my side. shocked in a boggart bog. Back in with an Emperor. Maybe there was a chance it was worth it there to block with the frog and like make them use up this activation. Really sure. Use this Quantum Riddler on a block. Stun down the Emperor so it's not attacking me on the backswing. Weird game so far. Oh my God, I didn't even notice they were at 6 life. When the hell did that happen? Larian Conqueror. Kraken. Kaito. What do they do with the Conqueror? Put the Conqueror on the bottom. I don't want either of these, but I need to have a blue card for subtlety. So I'm going to go Brave. Pop the frog, grave the other Kaito. Surveil to inform the clue. Fatal pushes. Pretty fire. And we'll just pass the turn. Well, I could have had an untapped land last turn. Or 2 turns ago, but I didn't want to show them that I drew a land. Didn't want to just give them that free information because I didn't really need the land. And then this should be GG's. Subtlety, the Flicker Wisp, Kaito's lethal. If they had another way to bounce the Emperor, like if they went land Ephemerate, I could crack the clue, draw into the fatal push, but we leave it on top of the library instead of drawing it like during our turn or last turn or something, so that we can protect it from Thoughtseize. We can do better on the play. We've done better on the play. Back a fetch. No reason to like keep a fetch if I'm just going to be water engraving into Thoughtseize anyway. Unless I wanted an extra card in the yard for Psychic Frog. Is fine-ish. Double Thoughtseize. Emperor of Bones Archon. Fatal Push. That is a hand of Magic the Gathering cards. Huh. Let's see. Option number 1, take Thoughtseize. They get to Thoughtseize anyway. Doesn't really solve a whole lot. Option number 2, take push. They Thoughtseize. Take Frog. That doesn't make a lot of sense either because they Thoughtseize, take Frog. I'm getting no value out of Strategic Betrayal, and they just Thoughtseize and take the Betrayal. I could Thoughtseize, take Emperor. I think I like that. They're going to take my Frog. Or they might take the Strategic Betrayal and just plan on, yeah, just plan on Fatal Pushing. Okay, so I'm going to pass, and if they want to Thoughtseize my Frog, get Thoughtseizes out of hand. Got it. We are officially looking for like a Riddler. Obviously, if they have top decked something like an Oculus, life gets a little more difficult. Thoughtseize themselves take Archon. Right after they bend a persist. So they have another persist. One drew a persist indeed. Well, little unfortunate. Not much you can do about drawing into third Thoughtseize, double persist. second fatal push. Okay. Not a whole lot to be said about that. Another Riddler last time. So he played against Grixis Reanimator round 1 and got to see Rit post board. Trim all subtleties. I don't think we trim all of them. Trim some of them, but like it's still a pretty good card to have access to. All of them. Like dispute against Reanimator. I do, because like sorry. Countering Psychic Frog is a really big deal instead of just relying on Fatal pushing it. Because you don't want the Psychic Frog to also be a discard enabler to get something else going. Opponent has drawn exceptionally well. Surveil over the Oculus, draw into the Unearth. Now have 2 ways of getting the Oculus back. My plan here. The card on top. Play frog, say go. By Fatal Push this, they can just unearth it. I think my out is to chump with Frog, surveil in, or I can't surveil into turn. Chump with Frog, fetch shock, push the Oculus into turn. Untap, draw Rest in Peace. Shuts off Emperor, shuts off Manifest. I've got a chump block Emperor for a turn. But then what am I drawing into after that? Guess my out needs to be finding something off the surveil here. Cameo. Have to attack. I've got to find something. Jutsu and Kaito, stun down Oculus. Cameo still dead. Jutsu and Kaito. Ninjutsu and Kaito. Play Tamio. Zero the Kaito. Draw, flip Tamio. Push the Oculus, still dead to the board. What I'm doing in hand isn't doing anything. Stun down Emperor. Fatal Push, dead to the Manifests. And hot draws. Super hot draws. Like, if they didn't see that second reanimate spell and had to burn the persist, I don't know if it would have really changed anything. But, like, surveilling over the Oculus hurt really badly. Finding the second reanimate spell was pretty awkward. Okay. Ethan of the Guilt Leaf. So probably Amulet Titan. Had to guess. Had to take a random shot in the dark. I'd probably say Amulet. Fatal Push isn't bad. Interact with a construct token potentially. Cool. Selesnya Sanctuary. Frog down. I would love if they sack this spawn and make a construct, but it doesn't look like they're going to. Kind of rude of them. Flunking is fine. The Rumble is fine. I think I'd rather save this force for a Summoner's Pact. They got Beseiju. Or just like an extra counter on Frog. Ditching Kaito, ditching Kaito. And A. Want both of those. Frog say go. We get to Subtlety of Titan here. Primeval Titan on top. Prize there. See what's up. Double check that they put the Titan on top. So next turn, they've got Pay for Pact, 2 mana for Crumbling Vestige. So they could Rumble or Aftermath Analyst. I don't have an answer for the Rumble, I do have an answer for the Aftermath analyst, so we'll leave them with that. Hit another subtlety. Fine. So fine. Carry on. Psychic Frog, still good. Got Consigns, Harbinger, Thoughtseize, some number of Pest Control. Don't know exactly how many I'm going to want to bring in, but some number. I don't know what their sideboard juke of choice is. Cameo's pretty mid, especially if I'm bringing in Pest Control. Bowmaster's pretty mid. Kaito's. Holding is mad. Some amount of pressure. Seems better than push. They're both pretty mid. I don't actively want either of them. Rest in Peace is only great against Aftermath analyst loops, but like better than nothing. Could also just bring in Strategic Betrayal if I want to help out against Aftermath. Cameo better than Riddler. Not when I'm bringing in Pest Control. Plus, Riddler lets you play like loose and wild with a bunch of your free pitch stuff early. Then kind of get back in the game with a Riddler late. Second Kaito. Aether Spell Bomb. I was not prepared for that. I'm gonna get basic Swamp here. Not because I need it, but because it makes it look like I'm setting up Harbinger. So they might be a little bit less likely to fire off this spell bomb on my frog. Like if I just go get an island here and look like I'm setting up for a frog or for a Harbinger. Surprise, was Kaito all along. Well, Titan. Okay. Assuming I'm going to use up my subtlety this turn. Never mind. Like a pithing needle. Titan crumbling vestige. They go after me. So we can go frog, land, discard, quantum Riddler, draw 2. Start by seeing if they do anything about Kaito attacking. Is 0 Kaito looking for a pest control? That's like all I really care about here. Fine. That mean I can still play Riddler, right? So I can get land here. It'll push a token. Or I guess I can't play Riddler because I have to have a blue card for subtlety, and if I whiff, I just like lose on the spot. Put Primeval Titan on top. Doesn't matter which one of these gets through. As long as one does, I still get Kaito activation. Good. There you go. Let's see. We untap. Kaito stuns the Primeval Titan. We attack in with everybody. They block Kaito. We can discard 2, hit them for 4, draw 2 cards. There's a subtlety pest control, sure. Probably means more than the best L3 judge in Mississippi or any of the surrounding states like mine. I don't even think we have an L3. I think we've got like 2 L2s and that's it. Bad. This. What was the ruling question? It's just if Bowmaster saw the extra draw on the draw step with a Quantum Riddler out. Yeah, Nightmare said it does. I really don't know. Wouldn't like be surprised that it does. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. Lost against Grixis Reanimator. Oh, Grixis Reanimator. Kind of a high roll situation. They drew pretty hot. We drew pretty not. Happens. Hold on to that for a second. Opponent did exile a Ketchermos to turn 1 Solitude, so is there's something I'm missing here? Like, is there a reason all these Esper decks are going with the island now? That's stock? Or is there something I should be taking away? Maybe it's just to be able to hard cast Riddler a little more consistently, but I just assume that it's like normal blink and not anything crazy. Some lists are on it, some aren't. New Esper Tech is no longer running 4 Overlords. That's what I like to hear. Four Riddlers and 1 to 2 Overlords. I would die happy if all of my blink opponents were on no, like 1 Overlord, bunch of Riddlers. I would be thrilled if all of my blink opponents were doing that. Maybe I'm supposed to bring in Mystical Dispute. It's probably something like if I see Frog, I bring in Dispute. If I don't see Frog, I don't. I think Dak Faden is saying that Riddler better than Overlord is now. Dak Faden is saying that Riddler is better than Overlord, and Overlord is now 5 minus X Riddler, not the other way around. Thing you can do, we can do. So. Yeah, I got what you meant off of that. Seems weird to hear, but I understand it. Out one of these. My mana. Opponent did leave a card on top. They know about the second Bowmaster. They want to like ephemerate in response to this. That's completely fine. I get to keep my Bowmaster around. Got it. blinked out. Gonna go for the betrayal here. I know my hand. I'm just looking for another land. Would you like to draw cards? I would like you to draw cards. Be something pretty good. All right, yeah. I agree with that. I think the only thing I would probably tank that hard on would be like a solitude, because I could subtlety it. You put it back on top, cast it again, exile the subtlety, block an Orcish Bowmaster. It's like the only thing that really gets you out of that blink turn or that subtlety ETB turn. Seen 4 days ago on Belcher. What do I think of this? Okay. They've got they've got Lotus Bloom in hand. It's awkward. Double Lotus Bloom. Good hand, bad against Belcher. I agree for the most part. That would have been fantastic start against Belcher. But I think I actually have to bottom that one. I'll keep that. But I don't like going all in on assuming that like MTG bot is right. Like round one, it said our opponent was on Affinity and they were actually on Grixis control. So kind of try to hedge a hand a little bit. Like I'd rather keep a hand that's just good, even if it's not the matchup for it. I needed a land there. Opponent and is like giving us some opportunities to get out of this. Just need to come up on it. Have to meshy. Were. Corrupting Shoal for 1 is fine. I know they have a Spell Snare and an unknown. Does Quantum Riddler or Subtletying this do anything for me? I don't think so. I think I'm better off trying to push the Tameshi than I am going for a subtlety here. They go to get, like, if they go to bring back the hydroelectric specimen like they did, I can go for Fatal Push. Through another Disrupting Shoal. Okay. Air. I feel like that had a really good chance of working out. Unfortunate that it didn't, but at least I know waiting wouldn't have done anything. Like subtlety wouldn't have done anything. Passing through. Got access to a hydroelectric specimen. Got a hard cast Quantum Riddler next turn. Their plan is to, or if we find a land, if their plan is to Seagate Reborn, we've got that covered with Force. Assuming there's not another free counter spell. Does this just go and get a whir? Well, I know they've got a hydroelectric specimen in hand. So if they found like any sort of counter magic, we're in trouble. We're dead. Third copy of Disrupting Shoal. Bruh. A man ripping double Disrupting Shoal to end my existence. You gotta do that. Double Shoal. Lame. Jaguar Man, thank you so much. Appreciate the well wishes. Winning, we're currently 4-1, so I guess to an extent we're winning. Hopefully we can win more, but it's going to take some good fortune one way or the other. Rockin' Seagate Restoration Pass. That means I'm just going to pass back. Need to hit lands. I'd kind of rather just draw a card than anything too crazy. Goal for 1. Okay. This counter is going to come off, and then we're going to attempt to consign to memory, leave the Lotus Field in exile. Ori Disruption comes out. We will Force of Negation off of a dog. one. Keep our stern scolding around for a Tameshi. Hopefully that's a flipped cameo. Rip is a little ways away. All right, step one, cameo flipped. Trap trainer. Fine. Thunder Trap here means that they're not like casting it to Tameshi or something this turn. Got Fatal Push. Go. They might have Belcher in hand, but they can't really afford to just fire it off into uncertainty. Oh, I can cameo minus on consign. But I just hate the idea of giving up on this Tameo ult. Like, Tameo ult is auto win. Just game's over. We win. Specimen is fine. Could just be like trying to set up Flare of Denial. I guess it's not completely we win, because if they have hard cast Belcher, gotta find something. Do have another sink into Stupor though. Let's start by archive trigger on the stack. Could have done this the other order, but I just kind of forgot. Does not do anything for me. Okay. So I know we're doing this. Is there any reason that I need to do this pre or post combat? Matter. Just be for the Tameo clue. Now. New Tameo. Okay, so we've got Sink into Stupor to bounce. I do not have Fatal Push, so I can't. I have to Thoughtseize first to check for a flare. They have. Go Sink into Stupor. Star Belcher. I'll land. Pass. Your hand is a Force Negation and a Char Belcher. Unknown. And for turn, take up Tameo. Cast a frog, say go. Make you deal with this frog. If you do, I got another frog. Whir for 0 doesn't matter. Don't care if you have more mana. Trap Trainer, we will Subtlety for the heck of it. Matter. Sign. And opponent scoops it up. On to game 3. Loving the Skyrim music. Dude, the Skyrim soundtrack is like S tier fall asleep music or S tier background while you play something else music. All so good. Back. Skyrim was my go-to study music in school. I played a lot. So most of my study music in school was either listening to speed runs of Super Mario 64 in the background, or there was this channel I had found of like Legend of Zelda music, but all of it was kind of EDM. It was super, super cool to listen to. Yeah, like Song of Storms, Gerudo Valley, bunch of absolute bangers. Force is a really, really nice pickup there. I've got to assume that my opponent has got some way of answering Frog here. I can afford to not cast it. Like Mystical Dispute, Spell Snare, yeah. Something. Like that off chance that they don't have a counter there, Frog kind of runs away with it. Or if they have to 2-for-1 themselves to deal with the Frog. Elenzor, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome afternoon. Appreciate you coming around and hanging out. I think it's fine to go for this Riddler here. I still have Mystical Dispute plus Force up. Don't think I'm casting that. By going after this Lotus Bloom, think so. Bloom has entered the exile zone. No hard cast Belcher. We know that one of their cards is an Into the Flood Maw. After this, I kind of like the idea of keeping Tamio around. If they have another Flare of Denial, they'll use it up here. It was bounced. Main phase just bounced Tamio is kind of wild. Why is Dingo gatekeeping me and not reading every single message? LOL, JK. Are you LOL, JK? Are you? Are you LOL serious? Laji hits another Whir of Invention, so could have stifled the Philology and chose not to, and I got punished. They shock in for. Good. It's got to be like another flare or force of negation. Going to be able to resolve a Whir. Really? I don't know if it really matters if they go for it like right here. Wait. Now, I guess they should go for it already. To go for it now or go for it on my upkeep. Collecting palm when you need it. Keep asking myself that every day. Oh my god. Hold up. Okay, so we need to not see Flare of Denial. Okay, step one. Indeed. Sink into stupor, really out here being a real G. I want to consign this so I can draw a card. Drawing cards is cool. Put this on the stack. I'm not going to flip Tamio here. Hold up. A little bit of interaction. Hydroelectric Specimen, Reality, or Tameshi Stern Scolding. Sure. Don't care about those. It could whir end of turn here, but that's like different. I don't want to subtlety that, because like subtletying that just doesn't really matter. I want to subtlety something that matters, like a meshy. I have not drawn a card yet this turn. I could just try to cast some stuff out to get to Kaito flip. For 0. Okay. Again, don't really care about word for 0. Like, you've got mana, you can have more mana, it's fine. Don't care about frog. Stern scolding. No. That's a good one. Draw to go ahead and flip the Tameo because I've got like Whir or Hardcast Belcher covered. I know Stern Scolding's their only other card in hand. If it's a creature, I've got Force. If it's a non-creature, I've got or if it's a creature, I got Subtlety. If it's a non-creature, I've got Force. Dude. What a, like, absolute haymaker fest. Round 7. Round 7. Really have to abandon Murktide? You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You lose, I foresee, in 9th place. Probably be like 12th or something. Take a guess. Frog. OT Bolt the Frog. I do like seeing Thundering Falls here instead of a Triome, because that means no turn 2 Scion. Don't love to see a card left on top. Ew. Really? Gonna do that to me? Just immediately after Force of Negation. I'm gonna go ahead and force this so I can save this strategic betrayal for like a Scion or another threat. Okay. Find that second threat. Nothing, eh? I like that one. I really hope they're not on the 2-mana flash dude. Name I totally know off the top of my head. The Thrall. Doorkeeper Thrall. I wonder. I don't think so, but I just wonder if there's any argument to like going for the warp on the Riddler there instead of hard casting. But warp instead of hard cast. So if they didn't have the removal spell, I would have gone like warp, draw 2, land preordained, draw 2. Then would have been able to play out or hard cast the Riddler the turn after. Probably not worth it. Like if they had the removal spell, then I guess it's better into the removal spell. They get back a Flage this turn. I get to strategic betrayal it. Perfect outcome, but removal spell is a removal spell. It's the only removal spell they could have that deals with it worth hard casting. Here. Multiple Flages. But let's see. Kaito, another Riddler. Frog. Sweet. Less sweet. Am I supposed to... I just gotta stun this, right? I don't want to go for a draw and miss and then just be able to, like... Bruh! Third fucking flage! Out of here! Yep. They've drawn much better than you have. Can confirm. And confirm. All right. Think. What do I want? I don't really want Rest in Peace against them. But, like, stopping Flage isn't bad. It's just, I think that's the only thing it stops. I don't really know if I can afford to go down, like, an impactful card for something that doesn't necessarily do anything. Harbinger's worth over, like, a force. It just depends on if they have the pregame ley line. Then Mystical Dispute's okay. It's not great, but it can fight over a Stubborn Denial. It can be used to hard cast on something. Cameo. Maybe you should bring in the extra Thoughtseize too. Lead on the flats instead of the Surveil land, so if they have, like, a Ragavan on one, I can interact with it. So, Island, Frog. Mystical Dispute. Kind of okay with. Leyline binding. Okay, that can help me buy over some time to the Riddler. If they have Scion plus another Kavu, this is kind of gonna suck. I guess technically they can't counter this. Scion. I don't want to give up my Riddler, do I? This is hasted. I know I've got another Scion on top. They have a Leyline binding, I'm assuming, by the Shockin Temple Garden. I have to. This is just representing like a lot of damage. Were Dark Slicks worse than Gloom Lake? Well, you also got to count the times that we've had Dark Slick Thoughtseize on one. On zero. Hey. For there was a time to find another Riddler. Put Flage on top. So a Harbinger would have been pretty hilarious right there. Riddle me this, Batman. I don't want to seize, because if I seize, Leyline Binding goes to the graveyard, Fetch goes to the graveyard, Surveil Over goes to the graveyard, and then they're almost just at re-hard cast Flage territory. Like another fetch land and they just get there. But I guess I could hit like a strategic betrayal. Is worth. What did I say? So Surveil here. Fetch. Yeah, I'm just dead to Arena. If I didn't take the Leyline Binding, they would have had to have another Surveil to be able to Titan here. Eric Relentless coming in with the raid. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. Unfortunately, you're coming in at the tail end of us getting our ass kicked by Zoo. Yeah, I should not have thought C's there. I knew that was the count. I knew the likelihood was fairly good. Should have just gone for the warp and let the Riddler go if they decided to binding. I'm assuming they don't run a third Surveil land, and I don't think we were getting there anyway, but definitely should not have seized there. Oh well. Good showing for Esper nonetheless. Fortunately, we couldn't convert it to a top 8, but wasn't bad. The standings was going to look like.